So I haven't really had a chance to discuss the ongoing mess that is Metro Exodus, my most anticipated game of early 2019, something that I've made apparent in past videos, most recently when discussing Anthem, which releases just about a week after Metro Exodus, although technically EA Origin Premier members get early access the same day Metro Exodus launches. Anyway, EA doesn't know how to properly release a game, and the launch date for that game is a complicated mess because pretty much EA is greedy. But that's a story we'll get into maybe in my next video, hopefully launching today. But if you follow me on Twitter, which I actually recommend you do so for my opinions on gaming news that I don't always get into video form, but anyway, when it was announced that Metro Exodus was all of a sudden no longer going to be available on Steam and was going to be exclusive on the Epic Game Store, my initial reaction was mixed because I feel that Valve has made the mistake of not giving better profit splits to developers, which is why we keep seeing publishers leave Steam, and it will continue unless Valve changes that. I'm just as annoyed by all these launchers and different clients, but at the end of the day, these companies' sole interest is making money, and many of them clearly are unhappy that they have to fork over a chunk of their profits to Steam when they feel they could do it themselves. The Epic Game Store is the first real competition, kinda, to hit Steam, but the problem is it's severely lax from a consumer standpoint up against Steam, and there are definitely numerous issues that must be fixed, but at the end of the day, what makes this store so attractive to middle-tier publishers, and even some of the top dogs who don't feel comfortable going with their own launchers, is the profit split. I understand the argument made that there's more users on Steam, but clearly it seems that these publishers find a 88-12 split more attractive than the 80-20 or 70-30 split, which depends on sales and money made that Steam offers at this moment. That was also something that the Deep Silver CEO actually mentioned when discussing the decision, saying Epic's generous revenue terms are a game changer that will allow publishers to invest more into content creation or pass on savings to the players, which is something that is happening as Metro Exodus on the Epic Store, at least here in the States, is cheaper by about $10, although as far as I understand, those who spent $60 on the Steam version don't, I guess, get to have those savings. Unfortunately, what I see as the big problem is the last-minute move by the publisher of Metro Exodus and the overall unhappiness with the Epic Store, as from a consumer perspective it feels like it was rushed to market. It really is a basic launcher with really only one incentive that only companies care about, and that's the profit split. No cloud saves, always online DRM, no offline play, no achievements, reviews, etc. are features that should be included day one, and that's why many PC gamers are upset by this last-minute decision that really came out of nowhere. Gamers are also sharing their dissatisfaction by boycotting Metro Exodus, many users taking to social media saying they will no longer purchase Metro Exodus, and this bad publicity couldn't have come at a worse time when there are multiple games releasing on the 15th of this month, including Anthem, Far Cry New Dawn, and the game that nobody is talking or really caring about anymore, Crackdown 3. Gamers also have recently review-bombed the previous Metro games on Steam, and many videos showcasing new footage of Metro Exodus are being met with enormous amounts of dislikes. Valve's only statement on the matter is the one listed on the Steam page for Metro Exodus, which now says, sales of Metro Exodus have been discontinued on Steam due to a publisher decision to make the game exclusive to another PC store. Didn't even acknowledge Epic, which maybe that's obvious because that's competition, but the developer and publisher have assured us that all prior sales of the game on Steam will be fulfilled on Steam, and Steam owners will be able to access the game and any future updates or DLC through Steam. We think the decision to remove the game is unfair to Steam customers, especially after a long pre-sale period. We apologize to Steam customers that were expecting it to be available for sale through the February 15th release date, but we were only recently informed of the decision and given limited time to let everyone know. And to that I'll say that publishers ditching Steam is only going to continue until Valve gives out a better profit split to developers, which kinda has to happen. The one thing that I do agree is unfair is that the Metro publisher intended to go with Steam and at last minute pulled out, and it's pretty much a big spit in consumers' faces, and the war between Steam and the Epic Store is only going to continue. Competition certainly does improve products, but right now it just feels like PC gamers are caught in the middle of a power struggle. Now, something I do find hilarious is THQ Nordic trying to distance themselves from this mess, as they took to Twitter explaining, the decision to publish Metro Exodus as a timed Epic Store exclusive was made entirely on Koch Media's side, as Metro is their intellectual property. They are a sister company of THQ Nordic for Vienna, which is the reason why we can and will not comment on the matter. We do not want to categorically exclude the possibility of timed exclusives for any of our games in the future, but speaking in the here and now, we definitely want to have the players choose the platform of their liking and make our portfolio available to as many outlets as possible. So this is where things actually gets confusing. As far as I understand, this statement was made by THQ Nordic GmbH, which is the game publisher that does not have any authority on what Deep Silver or Koch Media does on Metro Exodus, as they are just a sister company. The parent of all of this, however, is called THQ Nordic AB. Yes, I know it's confusing, and they came out with a statement different than the publisher, which probably should be obvious. The CEO of THQ Nordic AB, Lars Wingefors, saying in a statement that I fully support our subgroups' autonomy to run their respective businesses. I believe it's in the groups and ultimately the consumer's best interest that business decisions are made close to the market, and this is the group's consistent business model. In regard to the Epic Game Store exclusivity for Metro Exodus on PC, Wingefors explained that he believes that Deep Silver and Koch Media have carefully considered the advantages and disadvantages, opportunities and risks in their decision to go solely with Epic Game Store, in which he gives his full support for this decision, which to that, I think this decision should have been made months ago and not at the end of January. Anyway, to make matters worse, it looks like Deep Silver and probably Koch Media may be in trouble for this last minute switcheroo, as a lot of advertisements stated the game would be coming to Steam and physical PC copies would come with a Steam key. But now obviously these copies are coming with Epic keys, and the problem with that is how close to release all of this is going down, and the fact that some editions don't allow users to cancel them after January 31st, which is just days after this Switch was announced, and some retailers are even reportedly telling customers that they still will get Steam keys. It's just a confusing mess right now. Anyway, if refunds aren't given out following this blunder, the Metro devs could be met with some lawsuits, as well as investigations into, you know what it is, false advertising. Additionally, because things couldn't possibly get worse for 4A Games, you know, the people actually making the game, well, they had a developer give a nice long rant on a Russian forum site that pretty much was a threat to PC gamers if Metro Exodus does indeed get boycotted. Supposed 4A Games developer going under the username PsychNet took to the forum speaking in Russian, and this is a rough translation, but it says, the reaction of a certain category of players, and I believe it's referring to online pirates, I'm not sure, is hardly adequate. It seems that people who did not want to play just waited for a reason to pour out their anger. That is, it turns out that we, the developers, for years have been working hard with losses, trying to make something special, but a certain category of players believe that our work is not worth even a couple of minutes to install the Epic Games Launcher. Naturally, it is their life and their right, but then do they care about Metro? Obviously, it is not interesting to them. I can only say that they were not our players either. They are not interested in our work, which means that, for example, the opinion of such people is not interesting for me either. What is the point for me personally to listen to their opinion? But consider this situation deeper. Someone says that they say they crap Exodus and the previous games in the series, it will make the world better. They will put greedy developers in their place. To this I can answer that in a pinch, if at all the PC players announce a boycott of Metro Exodus, then the next Metro, if it does happen, is definitely not coming to PC. Better or worse, decide for yourself. I personally feel sorry for the loyal fans, yes, but my assessment of the work done personally by me and my friends and colleagues will not change this. I firmly know that almost everyone who pours their dirt on the net is also incapable of a bit of what we have done and hopefully do more, and that means that they have no idea what they are talking about. Now, like I said, this is a rough translation, but it's clear that this developer, well, what they were hitting on. They pretty much said, we worked really hard on Metro Exodus, and if you can't take a few minutes to download the launcher, you're not a real fan, and the people actually attacking them right now never had an interest to buy the game, legally anyway. So I guess they don't care about those individuals' opinions, and if Metro Exodus does get successfully boycotted on PC, then if there is a launch of another Metro game, then they will just not launch the game on PC. And lastly, they feel sorry for loyal fans, but feel those angry are not capable of what they do and don't know what they're talking about. Like I said, rough translation, but no matter what, this aggressive, threatening stance is not a good look, and all this 4A Games developer has done is create more damage. Threats like this will not go forgotten, and this is how you turn consumers against you. And at this point, I don't know how this can be changed, and come release day, just be prepared for reports of users review bombing the game wherever they can. It seems like the Metro devs took a note out of the EA and Bethesda playbook. Not a good look, but the one thing that does puzzle me in that rant, which is what it was, is that it isn't just another launcher. It's one with many issues, and it's not like consumers were given a heads up. This was a sudden decision made weeks before release. As much as they may dislike it, criticism is definitely valid and deserved. I would imagine that Epic and Deep Silver worked on this Switch for the last few months. There's no excuse for not being transparent that they were looking to ditch Steam. This war between Epic and Steam is just the beginning, and I really do wonder if Valve is going to do something to deter big publishers from leaving the platform. For right now, it doesn't appear so, and long term, I do think that profit split will have to be further altered. For right now though, Metro Exodus appeared as one of the best games coming this year, and if you're buying this game on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, maybe this debacle doesn't really matter to you, but I definitely feel this negative press will hurt the game, especially if it is not met with universal critical acclaim. Either way, it will be interesting to see if anything changes from now to release day, and I suspect if nothing does change, PC sales will be significantly low, just because of how poorly this whole situation has been handled. But yeah, these are just my thoughts on this mess. Let me know yours down in the comment section below, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.